call the meeting to order. Call the roll, please.
Good morning, Alan Barkstrom, Jeff Halstrand,
Here.
Paula Hodak,
Here.
Jordan Spacek,
Here.
Dennis Worko.
Here.
Thank you.
Items for discussion and possible action. Any public comment? Is there anyone online?
*6.
Press *6 if you're online and you want to speak. Don't hear any. Any communications from committee members? This is the last meeting that Jeff and Al will be attending, so I'd like to thank them for,
Exactly.
it's been a joy to work with you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Open chairs in the back if you want to come and see.
We got the
us.
minutes from
Yeah.
February 3rd meeting. What's your pleasure on the minutes?
Make a motion to approve and accept the
I'll
minutes.
second it.
Okay, we got a motion by Paula and a second by Jeff. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried. Employee status update. Nick?
All right, so we've had two new hires, promotions or reassignments. The first one was Tammy Ruth, part-time corrections officer dispatcher, started on 3/20/2026. Brandon Boggs, part-time deputy sheriff. We're still waiting to get a start date. They have been given a letter to fill, but they're, I believe, still in recruit school, so they're finishing up their schooling, college. Terminations, resignations, and retirements. Drew Hochschild, highway operator, last day was 3/26/26. Brenda Baldwin, the ADRC specialist, the last day was 4/17/2026. Recruitments, we're looking for a highway operator to fill Drew's position, ADRC specialist to fill Brenda's position. We're still recruiting for deputy sheriff positions. Summer hires, we did fill a couple of those, but we're always looking for highway. The forestry ones did fill. Highway is full now? Okay. So this was prior to filling them all. LT highway mechanic and fabricator, so we're looking for a part-time there. Part-time deputy sheriff, that's always ongoing. Part-time corrections officer, and substitute nutrition site manager. So it looks like we're looking for a few positions, but a lot of it's just that part-time fill-in type work. So we're doing pretty well on that.
You said multiple deputy sheriffs. Do we have people leave or retire or
We have-
going to retire?
Yep. So we have letters of intent. So we have Dave Westnick is June something. So we're working on that position. And then we did hear from one other officer, and they talked about it at law enforcement, that Joe Janik is working on when his last date will be, but it'll be sometime late fall, early winter. So that would also include Dixon, the dog.
Nick, are you able to hear me?
We can hear you, Jason. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up is resolution. On a new
Turn your-
position. The next thing is a resolution for a new position, behavior health social worker. This came from HHS. Correct me if my numbers are wrong, but the state recommends 25 clients per social worker for this position. We're currently at 63,
71.
71.
71. So Sarah is here to talk about this. This was brought up through Health and Human Services, like Dennis was saying. We've been talking about this for about a year and a half, 5 years, whatever. It's been a long time. We did go through the numbers. So right now, based on the programming, this is not levy money. This would be state funded through couple different things, CCS and CLTS. I don't remember. There's a lot of acronyms that come through this, but so this is not a levy dependent position. This is state dependent for funding. What Dennis was bringing up is the average caseload we see across the states around that 30. The state recommends less than that, but that's about the average we're seeing. We're heading into that 70, 75 area. And so originally we approached Health and Human Services to add one position. They recommended changing it up to 2 positions. Again, this is state funded. This isn't, we don't have to come up with that funding to handle the caseload. Sarah can talk a little bit more about this, but it's a unique position where if an individual enters the program, and there can't be a wait list, so that's the big thing, is the individual enters the programming, it's until they age out. It's not like, so at age 22. So it's not one of those where it's like, oh, you work with a client for a year and then that gets off your client list, new person comes on. It's if you get on at 3 years old and you live here until you're 22, you're on it until 22. So Sarah is here if you have questions, and she'd be happy to answer them.
Jeff?
So the state pays for the wages, but not the insurance and retirement,
No, go ahead.
or is it 100% funded?
You want to go up to a mic so people can hear you?
That was my question. So we don't cover their insurance and their retirement. That comes out of state.
And federal.
Okay.
Yep, it's out of state and federal. So excess expenses to be covered by the COP, the CLTS, and CLTS reconciliation. So it's through the federal and state money. There is 0 tax levy on this. Even our startup costs will be able to capture that under the funding.
And we've talked about, like, if say caseload, it's going to be in that, because like I said, it stays in there. But if our employees can handle a little bit higher caseload, it doesn't mean that say if we do 2 people, that second one doesn't just sit there and do nothing. We have other programs that they can work under that would be funded, the CCS,
And the Medicaid.
the Medicaid. So it's, we have plenty of work that would be funded through either federal or state funding that if we implemented these will keep someone busy.
So would this qualify, like, if someone wanted to go to school for this, or like we need these people right now?
Do they need a social worker degree? I think.
Yes, they need a social worker is what
Okay.
we're asking for.
So they would qualify under our program for reimbursement for schooling. The hard part about, like, the social worker thing is there's social workers out there. When we're recruiting, children and youth is just the hard area to recruit, because a lot of individuals who went to social work don't want to see that in what's going on. We tend to be okay when it comes to these other departments finding social workers. It's a little bit different line of work. It's still social work. It's just a different clientele.
We just don't want to burn out the person that's in that position right now, because we'll be in a world of hurt if something
Yes.
happens there.
Yeah, we don't have another worker to even take on 12, 14 cases right now, so. And the one that's been here is very knowledgeable. She would be able to train. She's been here 20 years. So, yeah, we don't want to lose her, Dennis said. Any other questions?
Do you see the caseload going up, or is it just flat?
No, it's going up. We had, let's see here, in January, I'm roughly guessing, like January, we had about maybe 65 cases. And now all of a sudden we're up to 71. And we're seeing it throughout the state. It's not just here. It's going up throughout the state.
Where do,
And
where do most of the referrals come from? Like a school,
families and schools. Yep.
law enforcement?
No, this
No.
would not be from a law enforcement. Children and youth unit. It also, this program also helps keep kids in the home to sustain them in the home so that families that are not able to keep them safe. This program here helps the family stay intact and keep them safe, able to help them out with fences. And there's other needs that the family needs. This CLTS position helps. That all the needs are through the federal and state money. It is not through any county money for the families. But if we're not able to keep them safe in the home, then it's going to get in through the children and youth, and it's going to be a ripple effect.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second it.
Does this,
Motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
does this go on to executive or does this go right to county board? Okay, to
Goes to
board.
the board.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So is that for two or is that for one?
Two.
That's two.
Up to two.
I think we said up to two.
In the resolution, it
Up
says
to
up to.
two.
Right.
Line 29.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Do we think this would be somewhat easy to fill, Sarah? Or no? Like, I don't know. You're in the recruiting, well, or Jennifer?
It's hard, but at this time now it's May, so maybe it's a great time
To catch them coming out of school and whatnot?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Well, hopefully it fills quickly then.
Yes.
But even so, I think if we just get this ball rolling, I mean, the more we lag, the more pressure goes on our manager there. And I just really am concerned. We've talked about, we do not want to lose her at all
Or burn her out.
or burn her out, one or the other.
Any other discussion? We'll call the question then. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next up on the agenda is a discussion on this is coming from Jason Hastings. He wants us to pass a resolution to change the way we govern, basically. He wants to take the oversight on county administrator from the executive committee and put it on to the whole board.
That is correct.
The only question I'd have is can he be muted?
You can, but
No, this is my resolution, Dennis. This is my opportunity to speak on behalf.
No, you
The
should have spoke,
resolution.
you should have spoke during public comment.
Yep.
That's the proper way of doing it.
Well, then explain to the camera why you wouldn't want to hold Nick accountable to the full board. Larry is never there during Nick's review, so there's only 4 people giving a review on the entire county administrator. So there's this goes against the democratic process here.
No, they always forward it after they make their decision or recommendation. They always forward it to the full county board.
Can I ask?
Yeah, he's only
Yes.
accountable
We've got
to
two,
the
we've got
executive
two county
committee. though.
board chairmen or ex-chairmans here. Did you guys, not both of you, send out to the full board for any comments or concerns on Nick's performance
Mhm.
and ask
No,
for
review,
feedback?
The review.
Yeah, I mean, so you did ask for input from the whole board before the review was done. And how many responses did you normally get?
I didn't get any.
Brian didn't get any?
I
Al?
got one from a committee member, but none from outside the committee.
So it isn't as though we weren't asked to participate more as a board member rather than just executive. Am I correct with that?
I just don't care for it because why do you have committees? You know, if the committees aren't gonna be trusted in doing the right thing, Why even have them?
Another comment.
Bring
I
everything to the whole board.
just want to, regarding, transparency, the review that we did conduct in executive, I printed it out and everybody was privy to a copy of it. They could comment on it if they wanted to. They were given the opportunity to agree, disagree, whatever. It was just for information, but still the discussion was available.
Yeah. Yes.
Did Jason submit a resolution or?
Well, yes, he gave one to the county clerk.
Do you want that passed?
You want
Oh,
one?
it-
You want a copy
No,
of
I
it?
have a copy.
Oh,
No,
he has a copy of it.
I have a copy, but why wasn't the resolution put on the agenda and then we could vote on it?
I guess it could have been done that way. I thought a discussion on whether we should even consider a resolution.
Well,
Um,
I would think that if
that was
I would
one
think-
of the choices, and then the other choice was not to even entertain it.
yeah. Well, I guess that's your choice,
Yeah.
as far as, but then the supervisor could go to the
mid-meeting.
executive committee and then it would have to be,
Well, the reason we didn't let it go to the executive committee is because they had a, what's the right term to use?
Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest that make a decision on that.
Because it's their oversight they would get rid of.
Cause they would, yeah, it'd be their oversight they'd be getting rid of. That's why it came here.
Well, I guess I was part of that discussion too, as far as how it landed in this committee.
Yeah.
I talked to Dennis and told him, because I thought it should go through a committee,
Yeah.
this one being the choice, before it got to board.
Well, if it went to the board without going through a committee, that would have got sent back to a committee.
Probably.
And this is an exact reason why I wanted this information is not shared with all board members. It's allocated to a small committee here. I mean, it's just another example.
well, that's the way it works. I mean, if you get 3 people on a committee, then it's approved. Resolutions, I mean, that's
Yeah.
how it works. But I wouldn't be opposed to have the resolution on the agenda discussed and then voted on at the next meeting or whatever.
I would ask, is any of the committee members here seen the resolution?
I have not. So I don't know what, I don't know what
Okay.
it looks like or what's stated in
The
it.
reason why I ask, because if everybody's seen it, then you could, I would say right now, decide if you want it
Well,
on
it's
the
not
agenda
the-
again.
But it's not on the agenda.
I know, but you could, can't you, because it's an item for discussion, if you wanted to, you probably could vote to have it put on the next agenda.
Oh. Good point.
I do have a copy of it if anyone's interested. It's up to you.
I personally don't even want to see it. Since he's on and since he has talked about it, since Mr. Hastings has been on the county board, to me, it's a headhunting expedition. He has wanted Nick's position gone and wanted it all back to us here. And many of us, Mr. Hallstrand on one side of him, me on the other, have said, and others have said to him as well, you don't want to not have an administrator because it will, all of those duties will fall back on each and every one of the supervisors here. You will suddenly become HR, you will suddenly become everything that you don't want to do. If your committees
That's
keep
not
you
what I'm
busy
asking
enough.
for, Paul. I'm asking for him to be accountable to all members. So the entire county is being represented, not
He
just a
is-
subset of supervisors, a select few.
I don't know why it's a select few because we all are still here making those decisions. I don't want to see it. Thank you.
So I guess I'm gonna ask the question again. Does the chairman not send out a request to all board members asking for their input before executive does the review?
I did.
I don't
Okay, so-
think that's happened in a few years, Jeff.
Well, I know that it happened this year and I know that it happened with Al, that the request was sent out that any input.
I was discouraged that we didn't get, that I didn't get as many responses
It-
or
it-
any, because there should be some thought put into it.
So the process kind of, Jason, is what you're saying right now. There has to be, there has to be a committee. Executive committee is the logical one if it wasn't admin, but executive to do that review. A review with 13 people would, in my eyes, would drag on forever. So there has to be a committee that's going to finalize that review, but it appears as though the process today requests input from all board members before the final review is done. That's how it appears to
I
me.
agree.
Throughout my time on the board, I know that the question has been asked. So, I don't know if I'd missed something before that, but I believe even when Bob was the chair before Alan, that in my mind, I'm recollecting that I believe that he even asked for information if anyone had anything to discuss. So.
I personally think it's a moot issue and that we should move on.
Is there any further discussion? I guess we'll move on then. Employee handbook.
All right, I asked to have this one on here because I think we need to start looking at a project to slowly go through some of our current policies and just clean them up. We've done this before. We did this when Act 10 stopped, so that was 15 years ago, and then I think about 7 years after that, we went through them. What I'm proposing is just each meeting we bring forward a couple policies and just polish them up, whether it's kind of rewording them so that they're easier to understand. Right now, our handbook is very paragraph legalese, where I think we need to adopt more of a easier read, but it'll be all the same information, but just an easier read for employees to be able to find what they need when they have questions about certain policies or procedures. Along with that, I'm requesting we look at one additional policy, and that one is it would be for inclement weather. Every year when we get snowstorms or ice storms, and every year I think we do the right thing. We keep things open and keep things moving. But we saw, bigger storms this year where like Wausau had 30 some inches, 35 inches, and they had no policy on how to handle that. So I've worked kind of with the staff and just thought about what are the goals, and it's not to shut down. So I don't believe the end goal of the policy should be shut the doors and pay everybody to stay home. I don't think that's the right way to do it. But I would like to bring kind of something forward. Some of the things I'm thinking of is like the decision, who would make the decision. And I think it should be a collaboration, or my recommendation would be a collaboration between the sheriff, the highway commissioner, and the county administrator. The decision should be made by 6 a.m. So it's still time to get information out. And what I'm saying the decision would be is not that we close the building to all employees. What we would do is close the building to citizens. So we're letting citizens know that the roads are not safe to be coming out to do the minor things that you may have that day, whether it's a permit that can wait or it can be done over the phone, or we still have 24-hour activities that we have to maintain. But closures would apply to public access, the county buildings only. County operations would continue unless otherwise directed. Closures may occur due to inclement weather or other emergency, including power outages, heating or cooling failures, natural disasters. So I'm proposing we just get something on paper that tells us who makes a decision, because right now we have nothing. I know I've talked to Brian a couple times during the, when the weatherman gives you that awesome speech about a week before and 2 days before, and all the shelves go empty at the store. And each time we've concluded like it's, there are ways for employees to feel safe, whether it's stay home, work from home. There's some discussion about that where it's up to your supervisor. So it's not just everybody gets to choose to work from home. It's only if you have the ability to and the supervisor approves it. What it does, it allows some flexibility during those operations. And we're saying public, we may not have somebody here to help you with that service. Is there any thoughts about doing an inclement weather? Are we okay with it? Do you not want, right now we have little to nothing in our handbook.
I think you're on the right track. I do.
The other one that we're currently seeing a issue with across the state is with the invention of meta glasses or like personal recording devices. We're seeing some counties struggling with employees wanting to wear them to work. And it's not a matter of you should be allowed to, it's a public space, things like that. But we need to put a policy in place that those glasses would not be allowed when you handle personal protective information. You're working directly with a client that would have a HIPAA issue, exam rooms, places where people would expect privacy. And that means like a restroom, not necessarily an office. Like my office, I shouldn't expect privacy. I may have a private meeting, but the law says somebody can record it. So I believe that's one that we need to just get a little bit of ahead of so that we don't have the situation where someone's starting to do it and then we're trying to change the rules on having no rules. Jennifer, was there anything else? Those were the two main ones we've been talking about that we just have nothing for. The other ones we want to start going through and, like I said, just cleaning them up, clarifying. Is that a project the next admin group would be? We would do it a couple at a time, then the board would approve like the whole book once we kind of come up with a cleaner version.
Me neither. Get something on paper and bring
You
it
need a
back.
green light?
Yep. What's that?
You need the green light?
No, I just wanted to let you guys know. I mean, by you guys saying, sure, bring stuff forward, I'll work with the next chair or the chair of the committee and just say, here's the first one, or here's the first three. And it'll be redlined like we've done in the past. You'll see where the changes, or if it's all new, we'll make it all red because that's difficult otherwise.
Yeah, definitely keep the changes a different color. That definitely
Yeah.
helps a lot.
And we would do that if it's like a couple lines. It's just when it was all new, it's all new.
Any further discussion on that? Okay, we'll discuss a procedure for setting future elected wages.
Yeah, this was just a carryover from the last one. We had that a couple months ago where I put together kind of how we came up with the elected wages. At a future meeting, I'll just bring it forward and you guys would have to, I'm waiting till the next committee just because you don't know what their view would be on it. So if the next committee, they'll review that process, then we can put something in your guys' handbook of how that process, or ours too, for all the electeds.
I think the wages need to be set like a year from now. So it would be like in the middle of the term. So that way people can decide if they want to run for
Yeah.
the fall term, you know.
I think that's the
like-
way it is. isn't
Yeah,
it?
I thought there
It's-
was a procedure like that
No,
already.
statutorily, it is it's a year out. So if it's a 4-year term, it is a year
Sure.
out. So statutory, like everything that's running for January 1st next year had to be done by April 15th.
Sure.
So we do it in February because
But I thought we waited with like board, like.
Oh, you
till-
guys,
till-
yeah.
Yeah, till like the fall.
Yeah, that's for your per diems. That's when you guys approve your handbook per diem. That has to be done before the election of you guys. So
Well, you're talking about
He's
like
talking
sheriff.
sheriff.
Oh, okay,
sheriff,
okay,
clerk of
okay,
courts.
okay.
I mean, yours too. I mean, we
Sure.
could put something in there, but that one is done because papers go out August. When do papers go out for board members?
No, not till November.
December.
December.
Oh yeah, because you're in April one. You're in April.
Yeah,
I was
end-
thinking
end
you're
of
November.
November, December, yeah.
Yeah, so we always do it in that November time frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, Alan.
Just in retrospect, I think that the process that we went through the last time that we had comparable information on what the wages were, and I thought that Jennifer must have done a lot of work. I think we had 72 wages for all the sheriffs in the counties. The other thing is, I think that we abandoned that. We didn't really take full advantage of that. And so then the numbers became subjective in my mind. So sticking to the otherwise, why do you have them? Why do you have the comparables?
Gets you in the ballpark. Gets you in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the process we went through this time is what we had outlined. It's just we'll wait till the next committee gets in place. Then you guys can put it in your book. We can put it in the handbook because we could do it for you guys too. But the process of setting would be done by the committees, the committee of jurisdiction, but we'll solidify that actual procedure.
So you're gonna basically continue what we did recently, just
put it
putting
on
it in
paper.
writing.
Yep, put it on paper.
And I think the sooner the better for it to be done. You know, I mean, that makes everyone's decision to run for something a lot easier.
Yeah, and I think in that procedure, that will bump some of those timelines up because there's no I mean, you don't statutorily, we just have to get it done by April 15th. Well, we don't have board meetings that would allow it, so we have to do it by February for us because that's our last board meeting going into it unless we have an emergency meeting in March. But you could bump it up to last year's budget time, so then you know for the budget even, but that's 2 years in advance or a year and a half in advance. But yeah, I have no problem timelines. You just won't know what other counties are doing. We try to all do it together.
Now maybe we'll be the trendsetter and start it earlier.
True.
Any other discussion? Do you have enough information to proceed?
Yep.
Okay. Next meeting date is May the 12th.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair.
Yes, Alan.
This is my last committee meeting, and I'd just like to thank everybody. I thought the group was very open and candid, and I appreciated it working with you. So carry on. Do the good
I
work.
concur. It's been a good committee to be on.
Jeff, you don't have as many years of service as Alan, but thank you for your service, and Alan, thank you for your many more years of service.
So hold on.
Are you calling this adjourned so we don't keep recording?
I actually was elected 2 years before.
I know.
And I've been on this committee ever since. Anyway, well,
Yeah, thank
it's
you,
been,
guys.
it's like I said earlier, it's been a pleasure just being on the board and seeing how things operate that people really don't have a clue. You know, the general public doesn't know how. stuff
Definitely eye-opening.
operates. Yep.
Yeah, the two of you brought in a lot of your own experiences and information, and you were willing to share that. And it got kind of, I wouldn't say testy, but a little back and forth, and I appreciated that as well too. So you do, yeah,
It's
and I
good to
do
have
appreciate that.
discussion, and we're gonna miss both of you.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And wish you luck in whatever you're going to continue doing. Yep. Well, thank you all, both of you. Thank you.
So the next meeting is May the 12th, if you missed that. If there's nothing else,
No?
we stand adjourned.